Welcome to Peak Learners Hub. Subscribe the channel for more informative videos. Hello students, welcome to the next session of SST. Today I am here with the topic Climate, Vegetation and Wildlife of India. India's diverse climatic conditions, varied landscapes and different environmental conditions account for a variety in its flora and fauna. So students, in this session, we will understand this interplay between land and climate and their effects on vegetation and wildlife. So first I am going to discuss with you factors influencing India's climate. Tropical monsoon climate is the most dominant climate type prevailing across India. The monsoons play a vital role in determining the lives of people. However, numerous physical and local factors also influence the climatic conditions of India. So the factors that influence India's climate are latitude, altitude, direction of mountain ranges, distance from the sea and seasonal winds. India typically the land of the monsoons. The climate of coastal places is defined by sea and land breezes, which originate due to differential heating and cooling of the sea and land. This is why coastal areas have moderate climate, while places far away from the sea experience extreme climatic conditions. Agriculture is India's main economic activity. Now students, I am going to discuss with you cycle of seasons. There are three different seasons in India: summer, monsoon and winter. So first I am going to discuss with you summer season. From March to June, temperature continues to rise and most part of northwestern India experience temperatures over 40 degrees Celsius. During summer, the northern hemisphere begins to get direct rays of the sun, due to which India begins to get warm temperature rise from 30 degrees Celsius in March to above 40 degrees Celsius by May. By mid-June, the sun moves vertically over the Tropic of Cancer, and so temperatures are on the rise. In fact, the Great Indian Desert records very high temperatures of more than 50 degrees Celsius. Coastal India has slightly lower temperatures of about 30 degrees Celsius, as cool sea breezes have a moderating influence on the temperature. Hilly areas also experience low temperatures because temperature decreases with an increase in height. When land gets very hot, it draws in hot, dry winds. Loo is the name of the hot, dry wind that blows in the northern plains. These winds are very common in Punjab, Haryana, western part of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. These are mostly dust storms but may bring in an occasional rain shower. In Kerala, the local thunderstorms are called mango showers, as they help in the ripening of mangoes, and in Bengal they are known as Kal Baisakhi, meaning calamity in the month of Baisakh. Next season in India, it is monsoon season. The word monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mausim, meaning season. The extremely low pressure conditions over northwest India draw in winds from high pressure areas over the adjoining seas. These winds, called the monsoon winds or the southwest monsoon, have their origin in the southern hemisphere beginning in mid-June in some parts of India. This season continues till September. Rain-bearing winds from the cooler Indian Ocean are drawn towards the extremely hot mainland by June. As these winds travel a long way over water bodies, they absorb a lot of moisture. When these moisture-laden winds reach the coastal parts of India, they bring violent thunderstorms and heavy downpours. The sky is often cloudy and there are few spells of sunshine between longer rainy spells. By the time the monsoon winds reach the interior of India, they bring lesser and lesser rain, and by the time they reach western part of Rajasthan, they are almost dry. So, while the west coast and the Gangetic Delta receive over 200 centimeter of rain, places beyond them receive 100 to 200 centimeter. Many parts of interior India, however, get just about 50 to 100 centimeter of rain. The Great Indian Desert in Rajasthan receives barely 25 centimeter of rain. Towards the end of September, the rainfall keeps decreasing. Next season in India, it is winter season. The winter season begins in the late November and continues till the end of February in India. The general weather conditions are cold and dry. The winter temperatures are between 10 degrees Celsius to 22 degrees Celsius. For most parts of India, by December the sun is vertically over the Tropic of Capricorn. The mountain areas to the north, northwest and to the northeast record the lowest temperatures, often below freezing point because of altitude. At this time of the year, the land is colder than the surrounding seas. The northern plains and the Great Indian Desert get extremely cold, while the southern part of India has higher temperatures because of surrounding seas. Coastal areas continue to enjoy moderate temperatures. High pressure develops over land while low pressure develops over seas. The summer monsoon winds are now reversed. Instead of blowing from sea to land, they now move from the cooler land to the warmer sea. This is because winds blow from areas of higher pressure to regions to low pressure. These land winds are the northeast monsoons. As they blow over the land, they are unable to pick up moisture and so do not bring rainfall to most parts of India. Only when they move over Bay of Bengal, they gather moisture and bring rainfall to some parts of the eastern coast, especially Tamil Nadu. When they blow over it, Tamil Nadu receives more than half of its annual rainfall in winter season, which is brought by the northeast monsoons. Some cyclones coming from the Mediterranean region bring scattered showers to the northwestern parts of India in the Punjab, eastern Rajasthan, western Uttar Pradesh and Delhi, and some snowfall to parts of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand regions. Thus, India's climate is very closely linked to the seasonal reversal of winds. The seasonal climatic pattern plays a very important part in the daily lives of the people and influence the flora and fauna of the region. Now students, I am going to discuss with you the vegetation of India. Forests provide natural cover to animals and the waste of animals provide nutrients for forests to grow and thrive. Vegetation covered in an area that develops without human interference is known as natural vegetation. India is home to 5 major types of natural vegetation. It can be named as, first I am going to discuss with you tropical evergreen rainforest. Tropical evergreen forests are found where there is heavy rainfall of over 200 centimeters. As the rainfall is adequate, the trees retain their leaves throughout the year. Hence, the forests always remain green and are called evergreen forests. Examples of trees found in these forests mainly include mahogany, ebony, rubber, and rosewood. Bamboo and a variety of creepers are also present in evergreen forests. These trees are hardwood trees and are best suited for making furniture. Latex is the main raw material for rubber manufacturing and comes from the rubber tree found in these forests. Next type of forest found in India are mangrove or tidal forest. In coastal regions where the sea water mixes with fresh water, mangrove forests are found. Mangrove or tidal forests are one of the most productive and biodiverse wetlands on the earth. The vegetation here includes trees, shrubs, ferns and palms. The largest mangrove forest in India and the world are the Sundarbans, beautiful forest in Bengali. Along the coast in West Bengal, the Sundari is the main tree here, and these mangrove forests have been named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Mangrove or tidal forests are also found in the deltas of the river Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They are also found in some places on the slopes of the Western Ghats. Freshwater swamp forests are found along the East Himalayan foothills. Third kind of vegetation found in India are deciduous monsoon forests. The deciduous monsoon forests are found in areas that receive an annual rainfall between 100 and 200 centimeters. The trees begin to shed their leaves during the dry period, hence the name deciduous. With the onset of the monsoons, the vegetation becomes green again. Examples of trees found in these monsoon forests include teak, sal, shisham, mahua and sandalwood. These forests are mainly found on the slopes of the Western Ghats, Shivaliks, Gangetic Plains, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. Next kind of vegetation found in India is thorn or dry forest. In areas where the rainfall is between 40 to 100 centimeters, the deciduous forests give way to grasslands with the new stunted trees of acacia and euphorbia. In areas where rainfall is below 40 centimeters, only thorny bushes and cacti are found. Where the rainfall is below 25 centimeters, practically nothing grows at all. In the thorn forest, the vegetation develops all kinds of water-saving parts such as long roots, leathery or no leaves, stunt growth, prickly thorns and succulent stems. This type of vegetation is called xerophytic or drought-resistant vegetation. Thorn forests are mainly found in eastern and western parts of Rajasthan, the central Deccan Plateau, parts of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Kikar, babool and cacti are common in these forests. Some of the plants found here have medicinal value. Next kind of vegetation found is in India is mountain forest. As we go up a mountain, the temperature is lower than that of the plains. The vegetation there is termed as mountain forest. In the lower foothills, up to 100-meter, tropical deciduous forest of mainly sal are found. Higher up till 2000 meter, the vegetation is subtropical with trees such as walnut, chestnut, maple, birch and poplar. However, beyond 2000 meter till about 3000 meter, coniferous trees such as forest of pine, cedar, devdar and silver fir are found. Over 3000 meter to 5000 meter, only some alpine to subalpine grasses grow, with a few flowering mosses and lichens. At 5000 meter is the snow line. Snow line is the area, the height above which the snow never melts completely, and above this the subsoil always frozen, so nothing grows here. The Himalayan areas from Assam stretching westwards to Kashmir and parts of the higher hills in the Western Ghats have this type of vegetation. Now students, I am going to discuss with you importance of forest. Forests are very important natural sources. Not only do forests provide a habitat for wild animals, they also provide us with a variety of forest products. Timber, gum, resins, herbs, lac and honey are important forest products. Soil protection, flood control and a healthy green environment are some of the other benefits that we receive from the forest. Now students, I am going to discuss with you the wildlife of India. The forest in India provide a habitat for a great variety of animal and bird life. However, human activities such as clearing of forest, cutting down of trees and hunting have led to the extinction of many species. The wet and dense tropical evergreen forest and deciduous forest of Peninsular India, West Bengal and Assam are home to tigers, elephants, wild buffaloes, wild boar, wolves, foxes, nilgai, rhinoceros, deer, sloth bears, langurs, reptiles such as the alligator, crocodile, gharial and the snakes such as the cobra and python. A great variety of birds and insects also found here. Where the forest change into grasslands, lions, leopards, deer, antelope and an array of snakes are found. The drier scrub and thorn forests provide a habitat for the camel and Asiatic wild ass among others. The snow leopard, Himalayan brown bear, blue sheep and ghoral are found in the higher ranges of the Himalayas. Coexisting with the mammals and reptiles are also a large number of birds, parrots, parakeets, bee-eaters, quails, sparrows, spotbills, eagle, kites, vultures and hawks are some of the commonly seen birds in India. Our wildlife reserves help in maintaining the ecological balance in the environment. It is vital that all species are protected. Intelligent policies, good sense and growing public awareness will help in the protection and conservation of the wildlife species, many of which are on the verge of extinction. The first week of October is observed as Wildlife Week in India with an aim to create general awareness. the Government of India has taken strict steps to protect wildlife. National parks and wildlife sanctuaries have been set up. India has more than 90 national parks, over 490 wildlife sanctuaries, and 49 tiger reserves. Project Tiger and Project Rhino are special efforts to protect two of the endangered animals. So students, in this session I discussed with you the different seasons of India, the different vegetation of India, the wildlife of India. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you for watching the video. Goodbye.